welcome to the Mohali MuleSoft meetup chapter. So today we are going to cover a very interesting topic, which will be learning about what are the domain projects and uh, how do we manage and manage the deployments in the hybrid deployment mode in MuleSoft. And today's speaker will be Abhishek Batwal, who is a MuleSoft ambassador. And before we begin, let's read out the safe harbor statement. So here, both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in the individual capacity only. So we are not representing our companies here. And this presentation is strictly for learning purposes, and we don't want to hold any responsibility that the same solution that is in today it will suit your business requirements. Okay, so it's this presentation is not meant for any promotional activities as well. Some general housekeeping rules. So the recording of this meetup will be uploaded to our events page within next day, or like I'll try to upload it like within next couple of hours. And to make this meetup interactive, please do ask the questions. Okay, and after the end of this meetup, you will get an email to submit the feedback. So do submit the feedback so that we can make this meetup more engaging and we can make it more better next time. So here are organizers for MuleSoft Meetup Group. So myself Vikas, so I'm working at Infosys as a senior consultant, and rest of the other members Lavina, Manpreet, and Anil from Kilias Consulting, Chandigarh. So today I'll be your moderator. Okay, so I'm working as a senior integration consultant at Infosys, and I'm a MuleSoft ambassador, a meetup leader, and a MuleSoft meetup speaker. Overall, I have got around 13 years of experience, and I'm a MuleSoft certified integration and platform architect. This is my LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me, and I love to share my knowledge by creating the YouTube video tutorials. So here is my YouTube channel, your integration buddy, and yep, do check out some of the tutorials that I have put up there. Left side. Yeah, Abhishek, I'd like to hand it over to you. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Vikas. First of all, I would like to thank Mohali Meetup Group to invite me over here and give me this opportunity to take a session over here. So, hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Bathwal. I'm working as a principal developer in Neuraflash. Uh, I'm a MuleSoft ambassador, frequent speaker, leader, mentor. I have certified developer and architect in MuleSoft. I have more than 9+ years of experience and 7+ in MuleSoft. I'm MuleSoft industry and GTM champion. I have few other certifications in Delbumi, Solis, Salesforce, GCP. I write blogs and create technical videos. So I have a YouTube channel called Developers Guide, where we put our technical videos over there. And I also own a patent for developing a portable washing machine. So that's pretty much about me. So now let's quickly move to our agenda. Before we move, I'm not very fond of PPTs, so we'll make the PPT, the theoretical part, quite quick. I love to have demos, so we will see everything what I discuss into a demonstration so that it will make more sense when we are doing it. So our agenda for today is like we'll have a small discussion of what are the different deployment models or options we have, like how to set up the Mule standalone server in Mac, in your Windows, like two different systems if you have, then how to do that. What are the common server command we use, then what is clustering, what is share resources, that is your domain project. So we whenever on-prem deployment or hybrid deployment come into picture, we might have heard of we need to create domain projects. So we'll see how we do that. So anyone from the group who has worked on this hybrid model would like to throw some light over here? Anyone who has already worked or have some knowledge or at least read about it from somewhere would like to unmute, or maybe in chat if you want to put it? No? Please feel free. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. At least you can try.
Yeah, guys, you can unmute you and yep, share your experience whether you have worked or not on the hybrid deployments or used the domain projects.
Okay. So we know about like
Yeah,
the
let's
yeah, different deployment options what we have. Let's see that. So we have got cloud 2.0, we have cloud 1, then we have got VPC, Okay, like the private cloud edition. Then we have runtime fabric, works on a Kubernetes, and then we have hybrid deployment. So what we are going to discuss today is basically on the hybrid deployment model, which we are working on. Okay, in this demonstration. So in hybrid deployment, what happens is your runtime plane is on your server, and your control plane is on your Mule platform, in your endpoint platform. Okay. So you manage your deployments, you manage your applications from the anypoint platform, you deploy it from anypoint platform, but the server are there in your own system, like in your own, uh, you maintain the server. So like where do we apply this logic of hybrid deployment to where we can have this, like, so the organizations which don't want to deploy their systems, their end system directly on cloud, those who are pretty much concerned, very much concerned about networks, very much concerned about their data, they don't want to deploy that on cloud. So what they do is they say like, okay, we'll create our own server, we will maintain it, we will patch it, we will versionize it, whatever is required we will do it, but we don't want to deploy that directly over cloud. What we can do is we can open some ports so that it can be accessible publicly. That's fine for us, but we are not going to put everything on cloud. And one example for that can be your bank, your banking industry, your finance industry. Like finance is something what we cannot mess around anything, like money is very much important, right? So banks, what they do is they mostly keep their own server and maintain it in order to have that security to not deploy things on cloud and have everything in their network and maintain everything within intra network. Okay, so like you might have either worked or have seen people are working in ODCs when they are working on bank, because the security is very much important to that. They cannot mess up with the security. So that's where the hybrid deployment model comes. Or if someone have got some legacy systems which where you cannot have that VPC concept, where you cannot have that uh, transit gateway or VPC piercing, which doesn't allow that, then in that case also you can have your on-prem servers, your own servers where you deploy your applications, which is connecting to their end systems and then fetching the data from there, right? So how we set up this servers? Okay, so what we do is we need to download the standalone servers from MuleSoft. Okay, then we need to go to our runtime manager. In runtime manager, we will see there is an option for add server inside the server tab, and once we do that, we will get this window. Okay, once you write specify a name of your application, you will see this window. So you can directly like go to Google and search like download Mule server or maybe Anypoint Studio. You can go to the first link, download Anypoint Studio and Mule. Then you will get this option where it's loading. So here you will see there is an option for Mule standalone. So you just need to click this. You need to give all the information, and you will get a downloadable link in your email. Okay, so that's where you can download your server. Okay, and in Anypoint platform, just go to your runtime manager. Okay, and here you can see the server option. Okay, so we'll see more deeply in when we are doing our demo. Okay, so this is the first step, what we use to download the server and to get a link so that we can add the server to our platform. Now there are different systems, like you have Unix or Linux, your Mac, okay, and your Windows. So pretty much the commands are almost same, just there are difference of some prefix. So this is a space of like I am doing it on Mac and I have done it on Windows as well. So this is a uh, link, like this is a screenshot of my Mac system, which like when I'm configuring, what I'm doing is when I download the server, when I download the standalone server, I need to unzip it, and in that I get a bin folder. So I need to open the bin folder on terminal, and then from the server link, what I got, the command which I got from here, if you'll see /amc setup, I need to put that over there for this bin, and then once that is done, it will show me the agent configured saved successfully. Okay, now there can be one issue with Mac is the allowing of your universal 64 file. Okay, so once you put a command for mule install, you can get this error. So this is a way of resolving that, which I will show you. For Windows, again, the same thing. Just the difference with your Unix, Linux, and Mac and your Windows is the dot slash prefix will not be there. If you'll see over here, it is directly starting from AMC. Same, once you do that, you put the data, like you put the link, it will install, give you a success response. And then once you do mule install, it will install that instance in your Java. Make sure your Java home environment is set. Okay, otherwise it will try to search that and it will not get that and it will fail. Okay, some of the server commands what we have, like start, stop, restart, status, these are all the commands, like to see like how we start our application in your Anypoint Studio. Like, right, either we run it or we debug it and it shows okay, it is starting. To stop, we stop it, like we directly click on the red button and stop. Okay, and when you deploy something, if you want to restart that, you choose the option from there to restart, right? So all that command, this can help you to see like what is the status of your application, whether it is started, not started. Okay, and we'll see some of this command. Then what is clustering? Now suppose in cloud, we can auto scale it automatically. It maintains the nodes and the vcodes, it maintains the downtime. But when we deal with servers, we need to take care of everything, the downtimes, the availability, everything. So clustering help us to have a high availability for our applications. Now suppose if you have only one server setup, that means we have only one worker or one node. If that goes down, your application will go down and you cannot take that risk, right? So it's always better to have more than one server. Okay, especially for production environments, more than one server, and that can be clustered together so that if one node is down, the other one can take it. Okay, now if you see this, we have two nodes, so equally the messages are distributed in this. Okay, or the primary node what we have, it will be working on that. But if any of that goes down, it will shift the complete message to the other node which is up. Okay, and this is one example of unicast clustering which I did, where we need to define the IP. Okay, then domain project, that is very easy to do it. Like in your studio, you just need to go right click on your project explorer, new mule domain project, you create your domain project, and then you create your application which will be connected to this domain project. Okay, so any question till now before we go to the demo? Any question from anyone? Are we clear with this part, or I was very fast? It was good. Okay. One more thing with yeah, sorry, because sure. So yeah, one more aspect of using a mule domain project is, now think about your Anypoint Studio. Okay, and I hope all of you have used Anypoint Studio. I don't think anyone is new. Okay, so when you run any application in your Anypoint Studio, so that is your server. Think about that is your server. So when you run your application in your studio, you put HTTP localhost and then you put some port. Now suppose if you want to run two different applications, right? So the port for both of them should be different. Now suppose I have application A and I have application B. So application A is using 8081 as a port. Application 2 need to use 8091 or 8082 or any other port which is not 8081. Because if you use the same port, it will fail saying that address already bind. Okay, so when we deploy the application to our on-prem servers, our clusters, okay, so you can deploy the application without domain project also. That is also possible because MuleSoft by default creates its own domain project. So the way you are creating a cloud application without initializing any domain to your application, it's fine. You can do that. And you can also deploy and it will work. But the hard part is maintaining the ports. Okay, so for each application it will work as a local host in your server, so you need to maintain different ports, because if you deploy on the same port, you will get an error of address bind. Okay, that is one issue. why we need to have a domain project, because domain project will be a central repo, we can say, where you can have all the common things. So you can have your HTTP configuration in your domain, and that HTTP configuration can be used throughout any application which is connected to your domain project. That is one thing. Second thing, now suppose if you have some limitations with the ports, like with the IPs, like you cannot directly open all the IPs for public. Like you have got different ports, then you need to have different proxies for each ports, suppose. So that will be difficult, like how many proxies you will maintain. In that, if you have a domain project with a single port, you will just assign a proxy to that particular server, to that particular domain project, to that particular port, and it will work for all your applications, right? So I hope this is clear to everyone till now. Cool. So now we'll go to our demo part where I will show you. Okay. So as I already discussed, first we need to download our server. So once you do that, this is how your server will come. So this is the latest version which I took. Okay. 4.6.2. Unzip it. Once you unzip it, it will be coming something like this. Okay. You have got different folders over here. Here is your bin folder, which will be required for us. Okay. So I will open this in terminal. Okay, I have my bin over here. Now coming to our platform, let me rearrange it. Okay, so now this is my runtime manager. Okay, so we will create servers. So I have already created one server in my window machine. Okay, now if we click on add server, we will see something like this. Sorry, we will see something like this where I need to give the name of my server, and then I need to use this command and put into my bin. For some security reasons, I'm not showing this because there are some IDs and I can't show that. But I have already created it, but I have not started it. Okay. So simple, you get a command. You need to put that into your bin. That's it. That's the only thing. Now we will start our another process. Now the next process is, once it is created, we need to install the server into our Java. So we will use the command as mule install. Now in Mac, there will be error. So I told you, right? There will be error for the Rapid Universal 64. Okay. So we got this error. So how to resolve it? So what you need to do is, we need to allow this. We need to give permission for to our terminal to access that file. So what we need to do is simply go to your settings, go to your privacy, and here you will see the blocker is there, which we need to allow. Okay. So we'll click allow anyway. Okay. Now again, let us try it. Okay, dot mule install. Okay, fine. So now that has been installed for us, but still this is not started for us. Okay, we need to start it. One more thing, you need to take care of your Java. So for me, in my Windows system as well as in my Mac, I have got Java 8. So it is coming as 1.8, but we know the latest version what we have is 17. So if you have 17, then you can manage that to have Java 17 over here. And the application which you are creating, the connector should be Java 17 supported. Okay, so you can see all the latest release version for your connectors, and you can use that. So, as a suggestion, if you are working on Java 17, if you want to deploy in Java 17, then use Studio version 7.17 with runtime 4.6.x. Because with the lower version, maybe 7.16, you may not get the runtime version as 4.6. Okay, so use the latest Studio 7.17 with 4.6.x. Okay, so now what I will do is, I will start my Mule server from here. So I will put Mule start. So it will initialize. It's saying waiting for Mule Enterprise Edition. So now we will see it will start. Once we do that, it will start it over here. Are we clear with this part? Any question to anyone? It is starting. Anyone, any question?
No questions till
No?
now, Abhishek. All good.
Okay. Okay. So meanwhile, it is starting. Okay. So it started. We got our PID. Okay. This means it has started. See, this is running. So now I have a question like anyone else can cite some example where we can have this on-prem, like this hybrid deployment in which type of industry we can need this. Anyone would like to try that? Any cases or anything? Team, please try to speak up.
Any high secure ones, like where we are not wanted to go for the cloud, like any banking sector or any like transaction, monetary transaction related thing, where we are maintaining the server from like our side, like client side.
Right. Cool. Okay. So now our servers are started. Okay.
Obviously, just one
Yeah.
question is that, sorry to interrupt.
Please.
I just missed one point here. Like when you add server, so you just provided the name of the server. So
Right.
and you then execute that mule start and but how the map is happen, like from your local
See,
server, and
from my
how
endpoint to
it
this. Okay.
is.
See, if you see my screen, so this is the pop-up which will come when you do the add server and you provide a name. Okay. So if you'll see there is some code over here, right?
Oh, okay, okay,
Along
okay.
with your
I
server name.
missed that point actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I got it.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
so in this automatically when you put this to your server terminal or command prompt, it automatically add that to your Anypoint Studio. Sorry,
Got
Anypoint
it.
platform. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
fine. So now we have created our server. What we will do is we will work on the domain project. Okay, we'll create a domain project. So how to create a domain project? You go to your studio, click on new, and here you will see there is an option for Mule domain project. Okay, simply click on this. Now the domain project doesn't contains any implementation file. That is only for configuration. Okay, like your common configurations. So I will give it as a name like demo, say domain. Okay, and finish. And it is very easy to identify your domain. You see the color of this symbol. Okay, if it is a domain, it will be kind of this color, and there will be only configuration file and nothing else. Okay, so what we will do is we will try to create a HTTP configuration over here. Okay, so I don't have that over here, so let me try to download it from Exchange. So I'll go to manage module and I will try to take it from Exchange. Okay, HTTP. So this is my connector. Finish. Okay, apply and close. Along with HTTP, I got the socket. If you see your POM, the dependency has been added over here. And now if I search for this, I will get it. Okay, so I am taking the default host with 8081 port HTTP. Okay, okay, it's loading. Fine. So my HTTP is set up over here. Okay, if you want to give any other configurations, we can give over here. We want to create any common property file, we can create it over here in main resources and connect using any configuration property or something. We can use that. Now what we'll do is we'll create our small application. Okay, so Mule project. Okay, the same way how you create your cloud application, the initial step will be completely same. So this will be, say, on-prem demo. finish. Okay, so this came over here. So the first thing before creating anything over here, any flows or anything, what we'll do is we will attach this to our on-prem. So now if you'll see, there is nothing written over here because this is your normal application, how we deploy to cloud. So to add it or to connect it with domain, we need to go to, like, we need to right click on the application name, properties, then go to your Mule project over here. Here you will see, when you drop down it, you will see the domain name. Okay, so click over here and apply close. So now you see this project domain. So this indicate this is under a domain. Now we have got some warning over here. What is that? So this is saying there is a conflict for HTTP and socket, because when we initially created the on-prem demo application, it has automatically took some predefined dependencies for HTTP and socket. Okay, this dependency came after we connected it with domain. Okay, that's why this came after that. Now, because we have this HTTP connector dependency over here, as well as we have it over here, so there is a conflict. Okay, saying that there is a kind of duplication. So this is not an error but a warning that there is a module conflict. So what we can do is, as we are going to take our HTTP from our domain project, we will remove the dependency from our application. So we will simply delete it, because we don't need to have the same dependency at two different places, although it is taken from one single source, right? So now the warning are gone. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll create some flows over here. So I will take a HTTP listener. Okay. Now, if you'll see the configuration for this, automatically this is attached. Okay, I have not done anything. I just dragged, dropped, and opened it. And if I try to read this, I will see the configuration which I did for my domain project. Okay, and this is a mule domain configuration. This opened up. Cool. So this one thing we have done, we will add a path to this. Okay, say server, and a small message saying that, okay, this is a server demo or something. Okay, server demo, make it a JSON. Fine. So now what we will do is we will run this. So again, when you see for run, like when you want to configure it, one thing you can say is, if I click on domain, automatically this is getting selected. Okay, because we at present we have only one. Okay, and if I click on domain, that means everything inside domain should be selected to run. And if I click only on this, if there are several different applications I have which is connected to the domain, if I need to run any particular, then I need to click over to the checkbox near to that name. Okay, if I do this, it will check all of the application which is on the domain. Okay, so I will apply run. Okay, so we'll wait for this application to run, but let me create the endpoint link. So it will be local host 8081 server. Okay, so once this is deployed, we will run this and we'll see if we are getting the output or not.
So in the meantime,
Yeah.
it's getting deployed. Abhishek, we have a question here in the chat window. So Gavaskar is new to domain. Can you explain where we for domain projects? And yeah,
Yes.
please.
Right. So, Gavaskar, like so I mentioned it little bit before, but again I will mention. So, see, now think about in the studio what I'm running. Okay. So think about, we don't have any domain, and we have normal Mule application, Mule projects. So if I need to run two Mule projects, I need to change the ports. I cannot run two different Mule application at the same time with same port, because it will give me address bind issue. Okay, first let me know, have you tried that? Have you seen that or not? Like if we run two different application on same port, it will give us error. If not, then I can show you people that as well. Yes, no, anything you want to see that? If you want to see that, just put yes, then I will try to create something and we will see how that affect. Okay, so that is one point where if we do a Mule project and if the ports are same, it will give us address bind issue. So if we want to deploy our codes on the on-prem servers, we need to define different ports for each application. So it's not like you cannot do that. You can deploy your code, but that is very hard to manage. That is one thing. Second thing, if you want to apply any proxies, which will be with respect to your ports, then maybe you need to maintain several different proxies for that. That can be one case. So the best way why we use domain projects over here is to create a single source of truth to manage all of our common properties. Okay, so that we don't need to maintain several different things over there. Okay, that's why we are using domain project when we're doing a server deployment. For cloud, it doesn't matter. Okay, it automatically handles by them. You create like n number of application with the same port, it will not give you error. But in domain, in server, it doesn't work like that. Okay, am I clear? I hope I answered your question. Yep, thank you. So now our application has been deployed. So we will run this. Okay, server demo. So we got our data, but there may be a question. Okay, we are running on Mule Studio, that's why we are getting it, and this is something we know every time we do that. No worries. So now what we will do is we will deploy the same thing to our servers. So I already have my domain project, okay, over here. So the domain project need to be put manually into the server. Okay, if you have n number servers, you need to put in each server that domain project, because that is a single system, individual system, how it works. So where to put it? Just copy your domain, go to your server, open a server. There is a folder for domains. Now by default, Mule has created a default server because we have added the server and started that, but we can delete it. Okay, we don't need this. We will put our own domain and put the domain as a jar version. It will automatically unjar it. See, I haven't done anything. As the server is running, it has automatically done that, right? So now my domain project is set, and the same domain project is there in my window machine as well. Okay, which I talked about, like I already have this window, so I have the same domain over there as well. So now our domain is set, our server has been started. We need to deploy the application. Okay, so to deploy the application, what I need to do is, it's again the simple thing. Either you can use the CI/CD way. Okay, that is also an option. But if you want to do it manually, go to deploy application. Give it a name, anything what you want. Say on-prem demo. Okay, you need to choose which server you want. You upload the file and apply. That's it. But we have two servers, right? And we were talking about high availability, okay, maintenance. We were talking about downtimes. So why we need to deploy it into two different servers as a two different uh, systems? Why can't we cluster it together so that I have two different nodes, and if one of that fails, my other node will take care of that. So there I am achieving my high availability, right? So what we will do is we will cluster it. Okay, now there is a group you can see. So the difference between cluster and group is the group work in isolation. Okay, so the group they don't know, like there are two instances. Okay, but in cluster they are aware of there are how many instances are there, and they keep on interacting in between both of them. Okay, so we will create a cluster for that. So we will give it a number name, say server demo clusters. Now again we have two options, unicast and multicast. So when we do unicast, that means we need to give IPs to our servers to interact. In unicast, your servers can be in two different network which interact with each other using a IP address what we provided. Okay, but multicast is we don't need to give any IP, but your both the server should be in the same network. So at present, my both the server are using the same network. Okay, so I will be able to create a unicast for that. Sorry, multicast for that because they are in same server, and that make it easy for the servers to ping each other and see like the process or progress of each other to see like if they are running or not. Okay, so we will create a cluster in multicast. Okay, I will select both. So earlier when we were looking to the server, we can see two different cluster that is identified over there along with the name. So once we create a cluster, so we will not see two different server over here, we'll see a cluster. And if we open the cluster, we will see we have two different servers over here. Okay, so it is trying to restart. Okay, let's wait for that. We'll give it 1 or 2 minutes, else I will start it. Yeah, it's starting. Okay, so we'll wait for other one also to get connected and start. Okay, when it started, let me check for Mac. Maybe I need to do it manually. Start. Okay, it's saying already running. So yeah, start. So my servers are getting started, and now both of them have started. Now one thing, you will see a star over here, right? So this star means my Mac is a primary node. So there is a concept of primary and non-primary or say secondary nodes. Okay, so there are connectors. Some of the connectors like where if you set some max concurrency that works on a primary node only. So when we see a star on any of the nodes, that means this is my primary node. Okay, so this will be first preference we can see. Okay, so my cluster has been set up, my servers has been started, my domain is already there. Okay, if you want to see inside, okay, the applications like the things what we have over here. Okay, we can see any custom properties or anything we want to do. Okay, any plugins like Splunk or anything for log management we want to do anything, we can set it up. Here is your server, the version, agent, and if you want to delete the cluster then you can use it. But our cluster is set up now. Second thing, if you go to application and if you see deploy application, so earlier you can see we got the option for Mac as well as Windows individually. Okay, but now as we have created server cluster, we will try to deploy and see what option we get. Either we get all the two options. Okay, we are still getting it, which should not be. Let me see again, maybe with some other name. On-prem demos. Okay, okay. Uh, Come on. So this is what always happen when we are running any demo. This was working fine earlier.
Yeah, yeah, no worries, Abhishek. Take your time.
Yep. It should show me only the cluster, not the two different. Okay. Yeah. See, something issue with loading it. Okay. See, now I don't see the two different server names, but a cluster. Okay. So I will choose this. Now I will upload my application. So my application is here on-prem demo. Okay. So I've already created it. and I will deploy my application. Okay. One more thing, like I have a see, I have this folder over here. So initially, when there is no API, it would be blank. There will be nothing over here. So just now, as I have deployed the application, it will come into the apps. Okay. We already have the domain. Now for logs, we have this log folder where you can see the logs for individual application, for your domain, and for your complete application. Okay, for your deployments and everything, you can see it over here, and we'll see that once we'll see, okay, this is started or this is still starting. Okay, now another thing, yeah,
So in the meantime,
anyone.
it's getting started, Abhishek. We have a question in the
Hmm.
chat. So they were asking like whether it's possible to deploy domain projects with cloud hub or not. So I replied it's not possible, right? Then there is a
uh,
follow-up question on that, like making domain projects a dependency jar. Can we deploy it to cloud hub from Wipul?
from people, okay.
Yep, we should scroll down from Wipul in the by making the domain project as a
Yeah, I
in the
can
second
understand the
last, I
uses
think.
of
Yeah.
domain project. Can we create domain project and deploy in cloud hub? No, in cloud hub.
Yeah, yeah, that I have
Yes, we
understood.
cannot
Yep,
do that.
it's not
Then by
possible.
making domain project dependencies
And
jar, I think we can deploy it in Cloud Hub with another API. Right? So that cannot be said as a domain project, Vipul. That can be said as a shared project, we can say. Okay, where we are creating an application where we have got the common things, and if you want to have any property, then we are calling that application. Even like what happened, like suppose you have got different credentials, so we have got vaults, but at the same time, like taking an example of Salesforce. Now suppose you have got different properties and you want to do take that properties in runtime. You don't want to configure that, but when your application is running, you want to take that credentials from Salesforce and then provide it to your other connectors or components, whatever you have configured. Okay, so that cannot be named as a domain project, but a centralized one-stop applications, we can say, where we have got the data and we are pulling over there. Okay, I hope that answer your
I
question.
hope it answers your questions, Vipul. If you have more question, we can you can unmute and ask.
Yeah. So how to keep local instance running with all the policies from API manager if the control plane become unable for extended time, like couple of days, for example, due to major misconfiguration of the control plane. Okay, so in that case, Edward, like your local system is managed by you, so that would be running. Just the thing is, as you have connected with your API manager, suppose, and if those are not working, that means your if you take account runtime manager as well as a where you have deployed the application, if that is not available, so I don't think that is possible, like that will be not be available, like the way MuleSoft have designed that. So they take pretty much like uh, security and pretty much measures to maintain that. Okay, but yeah, as Shubham mentioned, like have caching policies locally. So in that again, like you need to maintain some policies inside your applications over there with proxies or other things, so that you can maintain the security over there. Okay, but it's quite not possible that anything is not available at a certain time, even though there is downtimes or anything. Things need to be working, otherwise business are going to be impacted. If I want to deploy an app only to one server available in cluster, how to do that? So if you are having only one server, like why would you create a cluster, right? You'll simply have that application. So the way I have created the cluster over here, I will not create it. So when I go to deploy my application, okay, I will get the option of that particular server and I can deploy it over there. Okay, I don't need to create a cluster with one server. Cache policy locally in sense, like you can have that in other applications, like if you want to provide security, suppose if you don't have API manager, still you want to have some security, like there are Spring authentication and other components which help you to do that, or maybe using any third party applications to secure your application at work. Okay, so now let's move back and we'll take the question in few minutes again. So we have created our cluster and we have our domain project over here. Okay, so now see my studio, I'm not running it. Okay, I'm not running my studio, so that you can't say that it is running locally and I'm showing over there. So maybe I can also delete it. So I will delete my projects. Cool. So now, as I have deployed that in platform, but the instance are running in my system, which is a local host to me. So if I try to call this again, this will work. So the message was different for that. I have used test server, but this is working on local host, right? So generally, when you deploy any cloud application, it will not work with your local host, but this is a server thing where you have deployed that into your instance. So when you do local host, you are getting that. Although if you will use the IP address of your system, it will work there as well. Okay, because this is running in a system. Now we have got our app. Okay, we have got our domain, and now let us see the logs. Okay, so this is my log file. Okay, what all deployments I have done, the domain project. This is my on-prem which I deployed. You will see the log for that. Also, let's see another one. This is for the wrapper listener. Next, mule domain default. Okay, we don't have anything over here. This is my application one. So this is my application log. So I don't have a logger, otherwise it would have print over here, but it is showing like what all information we have inside that. Okay, fine. So what we have seen what is hybrid deployment. Okay, how to set up your server, how to set up your applications, how to create your servers, then how to cluster that, how to create domain project, how to attach your application with domain project, how to deploy the domain project, how to deploy the application, and how to run that, right? We have seen all these things. Also, there are some commands which I spoke about. So this, right? So we have seen like we have used install and start. Okay, now let's see few other commands. Okay, so mule status. So as our application is running, it is giving us that started. Okay, then mule dump. This means like it's trying to dump everything as a log. Okay, it will put it over there. Then what more? Console, it is again, it is going to show whether it is started or not. Remove, it will remove the instance from your Java. So we have used install. So this remove used to install the remove the instance from Java. That we can do is after stopping and deleting the servers and clusters. So deleting the servers and cluster need to be done manually. There is no such command to do that. Okay, like I haven't came across to that. But if I want to stop it, as it is having application, let's see if I want to stop it. Stopping mule enterprise edition. Let's see, we have both the cluster. Well, let's stop it. Okay, disconnected. See, my Mac is disconnected now because I have stopped it. Again, if I try to start, okay, it may take some time, but it will start that. So that's pretty much what we have covered. Again, if we go with the agenda, we have discussed about options we have, servers, Mac, Windows, the commands, clustering, or why we need that, domain projects. We are done with our demo, and then I have got some referral which I can share with you. So that's pretty much from my end, Vikas. So it is still starting. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
if we have
Thank you
any
so much.
question, yeah.
Yep. No, it was really good session, very interactive session, Abhishek. Yep, thank you so much for taking your time. And just got to know it's your birthday today.
Yeah,
Yeah, happy birthday, Abhishek. Yes, really good way to celebrate birthday by sharing knowledge. Yep. So
sure.
I wish you a great year ahead, Abhishek.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Shubham.
So we can,
So,
I think, there are no more questions. I think we can just enable our videos. Once I can just take a quick snap and
Vikas,
for our
hello,
LinkedIn publication
hello.
maybe.
yeah, yeah.
So guys, if you can just switch on video for just a minute, I can just take a quick snap.
Uh, Anupurna want to say something.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I had a question.
Yeah,
Okay, uh,
Yeah, sure.
like we can take it up, right?
yeah, yeah. Please take it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Abhishek, we are using this domain projects. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have first question is like suppose we have our domain project and two applications are referring to them,
Right.
and if you make a change to the domain project and redeploy,
Hmm.
the corresponding applications will also be restarted.
See, to redeploy what you are doing, you are stopping a server and you are putting the domain project, and then you are starting, right?
Hmm.
Yes. So in that case, when you're stopping a server, you can say like when you're stopping a server, so you're stopping that instance, right? So once
Hmm.
the instance is stopped and you are starting it, that means the application will start automatically. If you are doing it in both the cluster, then because if you are uploading the domain project, you need to do in all the cluster, right?
Hmm.
And whatever clusters you sorry clusters but servers. So if you are
Servers.
doing that, then obviously to intake that, it's better to restart or automatically it will restart.
Okay, so we had this situation, okay, where we have used domain projects
Mhm.
not only for HTTP but also for DB, Salesforce connectors. Okay,
Right.
so now there came a situation where if it is good that in one place if any password update happens or anything happens, it's
Correct.
in the Cummins domain project. You will go, you will update it, and you will redeploy.
Mhm.
Okay, but that redeploy of Cummins domain project affects the other. It is good in one way that you have only single point of touch, okay, where you are
See,
changing things,
see, yeah. In
but
in
they
in that case, sorry to cut you up, but in that case, what we do is when we talk about commons, so we talk about common to have those commons which are
Mhm.
actually going to be referred by all. Like if you are talking about DB, so
Hmm.
DB may be something application specific where in one place you need it and in another place you don't need it, right?
Hmm.
So it says like having a common domain where we have everything, but practically when we do it, maybe some of that instance is not possible. So if I have a DB in one application,
Okay,
why should I put it in my domain and update for everyone when they don't need it, right? So it's again the way of
agreed.
architecture, again the way of architecture what your
Uh-huh.
architect follow and how they follow it. It's on us like how we are implementing that. Okay, but if it is very much specific to some application, then few things we should keep into the application, not to the whole. Now suppose if your instance are running, okay, and your
Hmm.
2 3 applications are using the same DB dependency, where
Hmm.
in one of the application you want to increase the version, but in other you don't want to do
Ah,
that, because if you do that it will fail. So
yes.
what you will do in that case? Then you need
Yes,
to
that is
forcefully,
what
yeah.
we landed up in a situation where we didn't understand how much is too much.
Hmm.
Okay, and we had to revert back. So, my question was with respect to domain projects, do we have any best practices by MuleSoft, even to make the decision for an architect? Okay, should this go in the common one or should this not go? Should be this at the application level?
See,
That was my question
to be
actually.
honest, I haven't went through or seen any such notes or
Yeah.
anything from MuleSoft about the best practices. It's just like how we are working, but it always recommended if we are creating a domain project, then everything should be there in the domain to have a single source of truth with all your configurations. But again, theoretically and doing it practically differs, right? It's not
Hmm.
always possible to have things. So if you think, okay, like the HTTP configurations or the security dependency, or you say your uh,
Spring
VM or
dependencies if
yeah,
we
Spring
have.
dependencies, which are very much common to everyone. Like, okay, in all the application I am surely need this, then anyhow they are going to go in the domain project. But if anything is very much specific which need to be like SAP connectors, now suppose if it is very much specific to my application, why should I put it into domain and increase the size of my domain, or that uh, like dependency or that functionality is also pulled into some other application which don't need it. So unnecessarily the size is getting increased, right? So in that case,
Agreed.
I would like to have that in my particular application and not in domain project. And this I'm telling with my perception. It may varies to people and architecture to architecture. But what I think is, if this is not related to anything else, I shouldn't put it into my domain. I will put it into my application itself, unless it is being used by several different applications. And I think it should go as a common. But again, there is an issue. There can be an issue with the versioning. Okay, like I faced
Yes.
for Salesforce connector where one of my
Hmm.
application needs some lower version, other need a some higher
Yeah.
version. So there is a conflict then.
Yeah, we that's what, and then we eventually had to do remove things which were not needed
Yeah,
out and put it in the application back.
right.
Thanks.
So see, like again, like updating the domain project again and again is also a big pain. Like you need to restart, you need to put everything again, you need to see all the applications are working fine, you are creating a downtime of your own, right? So
Yes.
it's always better to avoid how much we can do that.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other question?
Session, right? We have some news for the attendees, right?
Sorry, come again because your voice breaked.
You were saying in the beginning of the session, right? You have got
Yeah,
some news for the attendees, right, which you were going.
right. Okay, so the news is, so soon, like we are going to start again the voucher thing. Okay, so it's been like more than 1.5 year. MuleSoft stopped that, but now again we have some announcement where we are going to start the vouchers. Okay, where we will be having some trivia and giving away the vouchers again. So a few informations are still like we need to have it from the team. Okay, but in the coming session we are surely going to do those things and giving away the vouchers. So I will request you to like uh, to join the sessions, okay, as much as you can. Come up back from your sleep, like the 1.5 year what we had not attending the sessions and other things. So let's not do that and participate as much as we can, because all the leaders, speakers, community members who are organizing these meetups, they take a lot of pain to do that, a lot of effort, a lot of time to do that just because of you, so that we can give some knowledge, okay, and to benefit you. So this is for you. Try to utilize it and help us with your feedback as well, okay, which is again very much important for us to bring a lot of good sessions for you, okay, so we can provide some more knowledge to you. Okay, all the latest thing what
Okay.
is updated from MuleSoft, you will see there are meetups for that. So you cannot say like, okay, we didn't got the opportunity. We are creating the opportunity for all of you. You need to utilize that. So that's what I wanted to say. That's it.
Yep, yep. Thank you, Abhishek. That's really good news, and hope we'll get the more participants in the meetups. Yep. So yeah, so if you don't have any more questions, I think we can wrap up for the day. So
So one question, uh, it's not
let's
regarding the,
like
I
switch
would say,
the video for that. I can just take a quick snap.
Yeah, sure. Let me blur my background if I can. Yep. No one is coming up. It's because
Yeah, guys, please switch on the video.
yeah. Shubham, you can unmute and you can speak here. You're just putting on chat.
Yeah, because you are not even visible.
Yeah, because you're not. Your network has issues. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry for that. Yeah.
You're still not visible. Yeah, Shivam, I will update my photo once I complete my 10 years in IT.